Hello my friends, welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Frilly Vintage Designs. So I am doing a series of videos where I answer what am I doing wrong questions, and one of the questions that I get asked very often is why do I get those frilly edges on my petals? And the frilly edges are really pretty in some cases if that's the look you're trying to achieve, but if you're not, it can really ruin a painting for you. So there's a couple of reasons that I find that you get the frilly edges. And one of them is putting down your ink and then blowing right on top of the puddle. If you do that to try and move it, what's going to happen is that the air is hitting the paper and it's going to blow the ink out. And I'll show you what I mean. So you can see there, and you start to get split petals. So that's not what you want to do. You don't want to blow right on top of your puddle. And I'm having issues with humidity in my studio because of course I forgot to empty my dehumidifier, but I've done that now, so hopefully this issue will go away. That's a whole nother issue. So okay, this is how you blow out a petal. I'm going to put my ink down and I'm going to blow from behind the petal. And I'm going to start moving that ink, and I like to use short spurts. And then once I get my petal, I've got so much water spitting out of here. Once I blow my petal to the length that I like, I turn my airbrush away from the puddle. But what happens is that your tip starts to get round. So I get it about as long as I want it. And then I start to turn the airbrush back around, and that will start to make my petal. It'll make it a little bit longer, but it'll also make it a little bit pointier so that it's not so rounded at the tip. And as always, make sure you dry it all the way to the end. Now, another reason that you get those spindly edges is because you're blowing too quickly. So this is what happens. People go like this. They're blowing the flower too quickly. Your edges are not going to dry unless you go back over them, and that only makes matters worse. But again, that's really pretty, and it's a nice look if that's the look that you're going for. But if it's not, it can really ruin your painting. So let's try some red so it stands out. I don't know how it's going to blow over this other ink, but again, I'm going to show you what a lot of people do. They start blowing and they start moving too quickly. And you can't do that because the ink is going to blow outward. So what you want to do again is put down your ink, get behind the puddle of ink, and start. I like to use short spurts to start with. And you can see I haven't moved my airbrush at all. It's still in the same location where I started. And once I get the petal to about the length I want, I start turning my airbrush away from that puddle. Once I start to get to the tip, if it's too rounded, I will turn it around again, but keeping it in the same place, angle it towards the tip so that the tip gets a little bit pointier instead of so rounded. So those are probably the reasons that you are getting frilly edges. Either you're blowing the petals too fast or you're blowing on top of the ink. Sometimes it could be that you're using too much ink and not enough alcohol. So those are things to look out for. Do give these techniques that I've shown you here a try. Slow down. It's not a race. And make sure that you're blowing from behind the petal. I would say I usually have my airbrush about 3 inches or so away from the puddle. Once I get it to the length that I want it, I start to angle my airbrush away from the puddle so the air, it's hitting the paper and it's still blowing out this way. So it's going to dry the ink, but it's not going to move it forward very much. Once it starts to get rounded at the tip, but you can see as the ink starts to dry, you can see the movement of it drying. Then I start to angle it back towards the tip to get a pointier tip. So I hope that you found this information helpful. Again, if you have any issues that you would like me to address in a video, please leave it in the comments. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. I post videos every Friday and usually on a Tuesday as well. And on this channel, we learn alcohol, ink, and watercolor together. So I hope that you consider joining. Please don't forget to like and comment, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.